From ancient religious texts to cutting-edge scientific research, the question of life's origins has fascinated humanity for centuries. Did life emerge because of divine creation as described in the Vedas, Bible or Qur'an? Or did it evolve by natural processes over billions of years? Modern science explores theories like abiogenesis, the idea that life started from non-living matter. But how did simple molecules evolve into living and replicating cells? In the Bite Size today, we'll take a deep dive into the scientific journey behind life beginnings, the key experiments and the mysteries that still remain. Watch the video till the end. If you are seeking clarity in the core concepts, fundamental principles and basic beliefs of all religions, history and philosophy, you have come to the right place. Welcome to my channel, History, Religion and Philosophy Bite Size. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share. The Earth was not always the lush blue-green planet we recognize today. It formed approximately 4.5 billion years ago during the Hadean Eon, a time of extreme heat, intense geological activity and constant cosmic bombardment. The young planet's surface was largely molten due to frequent asteroid impacts and widespread volcanic eruptions. There was no breathable oxygen in the atmosphere. Instead, it was dominated by gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, and ammonia, making it inhospitable to life as we know it today. One particularly massive collision, possibly with a Mars-sized protoplanet, is believed to have ejected a large amount of debris from the Earth into space, which eventually coalesced to form the Moon. Over time, as the Earth began to cool, its surface solidified and volcanic outgassing contributed to the formation of a primitive atmosphere. Water delivered by icy comets, water-rich asteroids, or released from deep within the planet gradually accumulated on the surface, forming the first oceans. These early bodies of water played a crucial role in shaping Earth's geology and formation of life. Life is believed to have originated during the Archean Eon, roughly between 4 and 2.5 billion years ago. As Earth's surface gradually stabilized and oceans began to form, the atmosphere remained hostile to modern life, rich in nitrogen, carbon dioxide and methane, but lacking free oxygen. Around 3.8 to 3.5 billion years ago, the earliest known life forms appeared, single-celled microorganisms known as prokaryotes. These microbes likely thrived in extreme environments such as hydrothermal vents on the ocean floor, where superheated mineral-rich water created ideal conditions for complex chemical reactions. As evolution progressed, a group of photosynthetic bacteria called cyanobacteria emerged around 2.7 billion years ago, which began to release oxygen as a byproduct of photosynthesis. This gave rise to the Great Oxygenation Event around 2.4 billion years ago, which provided the spark for abiogenesis, the origin of life from non-living matter, which is the focus of today's video. The purpose of the bite-sized videos is to break down complex concepts into simple and easy to understand narrations. It requires a lot of effort and research. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and share so we can spread the message as much as possible. So what are the key requirements for life to emerge? For abiogenesis, the following critical steps are necessary. First of all, formation of organic molecules such as amino acids, nucleotides and lipids must have formed from simple chemical reaction. Second, polymerization. Small organic molecules must have linked together to form complex polymers like protein, RNA and DNA. Number 3, compartmentalization. these molecules need a protective boundary such as the lipid membrane to separate them from the environment. Number 4, self-replication. Some molecules like the RNA must have developed the ability to store and transmit genetic information. And finally, metabolism. The first protocells must have been able to obtain and utilize energy to sustain themselves. So now the million-dollar question: how did this all happen? Let's start with some of the classic theories that have been discussed for years. One of the first major hypotheses is the primordial soup theory, also known as the Miller-Urey experiment. In the 1950s, scientists Stanley Miller and Harold Urey conducted an experiment simulating the conditions of early Earth. They mixed gases like methane, ammonia and hydrogen and then applied electricity to mimic lightning strikes. After running the experiment for about a week, they found that simple organic compounds like amino acids had formed. This provided evidence that life could arise from basic chemicals in the right conditions. Another leading theory about the origin of life is the hydrothermal vent hypothesis, which proposes that life began near deep-sea hydrothermal vents, which are fissures in the Earth's crust that release superheated mineral-rich water into the ocean. Such environments are abundant in chemical energy and provide the heat and catalytic surfaces necessary to drive the chemical reactions that could lead to formation of life. Biochemist Gunther Wachtenhauser developed a related idea known as the iron-sulfur world hypothesis, which suggests that life may have originated on the surface of iron and sulfur minerals found around these deep-sea hydrothermal vents. These mineral surfaces could have acted as a natural catalyst, enabling simple molecules to bond and form more complex organic compounds. Building on these ideas, Nick Lane, professor of evolutionary biochemistry in London, highlights the critical role of energy flow, particularly through proton gradients, in the origin of life. Proton gradients refer to difference in proton concentrations across a membrane, which in modern cells is used to drive ATP synthetase, the enzyme that produces ATP, which is the molecule that powers nearly all cellular processes. Nick Lane proposes that early life may have exploited natural proton gradients present in the hydrothermal vent system to generate usable energy. Instead of relying on sunlight or basic chemical reactions, these primitive systems may have tapped into environmental energy flow to carry out essential functions. In Lane's view, metabolism came before genetics, meaning that the earliest life forms were driven by chemical energy, which enabled the self-assembly and replication of molecules like RNA, protein, and lipids. This perspective is consistent with modern biology, where structures like mitochondria and chloroplast use similar proton gradients to produce ATP. The third is the RNA world hypothesis, which suggests that early life was based primarily on RNA molecules before the evolution of DNA and proteins. RNA is unique because it can both store genetic information like DNA and catalyze chemical reactions like proteins. This dual function makes it a strong candidate for the first self-replicating system capable of evolution. In this model, primitive RNA molecules could have formed spontaneously under prebiotic conditions and begun copying themselves, eventually giving rise to more complex life forms. Remnants of RNA world still exist today, most notably in ribozymes, which are the RNA molecules that catalyze reactions, and in ribosomes, the protein-making machinery of the cell wall. Researchers have even created self-replicating RNA systems in controlled environments, providing support for this hypothesis. However, fully recreating the spontaneous emergence of RNA under prebiotic conditions remain a major challenge. The panspermia hypothesis suggests that life, or at least its building blocks, may have originated elsewhere in the universe and were transported to Earth, possibly by meteorites or cosmic dust. This idea implies that life might not have started on Earth but was instead seeded from elsewhere. There is evidence suggesting that certain minerals and water on Earth may have originated from meteorites and other celestial bodies. Supporting this idea, meteorite like the Murchison meteorite have been found to contain amino acids and water-rich minerals, indicating that key ingredients for life could have come from space. While we have explored many hypotheses about the origin of life, we still haven't found a definitive answer to how life originated. However, our understanding has grown significantly over time. Today, we have many insights and theories that help us piece together the complex puzzle of life's beginnings, even if the full picture remains elusive. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below the video. Many thanks for watching.